if I was an ALU member, I don't think I would want to join the Teamsters. I'd much rather join the UAW or UE or some other union that actually is democratic and doesn't have a history of being literally the mob.
We've got a caller on the line. Let's bring them. Let's bring them on the air. Caller from a 512 area code. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, I'm Reese. I'm calling from Austin. No union affiliation.
Reese from Austin. Appreciate you calling in. And we got your voicemail. We were going to be responding to, we had the voicemail lined up to respond to, but figured since you called in, we'll go ahead and just bring you on. And your voicemail was about the Amazon Labor Union affiliation with the Teamsters. And so I'm assuming that's what you wanted to call in about. So what's on your mind?
Yeah, I just figured I was live, so I might as well call in. But, so, like, I kind of think that this Teamsters affiliation is, like, it feels like it's subverting the election, is really sort of my fear here. Like, I sort of get the vibe that the existing president of the ALU wants to sort of, like, is scared he's going to lose power, and so is trying to, like, basically set him up for success by affiliating with the Teamsters. And, like, that just, I don't know, doesn't sit right with me. I mean, maybe those fears are unfounded and it's just normal, but I can't help but think that it's a bit suspicious.
No, I do not disagree with you that it's a bit suspicious. It's also incredibly suspicious that, you know, the Teamsters announced it as if it was a done deal before the workers were able to vote on it. And, you know, I mean, this comes in the same week, like I said in last week in Southern Labor, they broke their no raid pact with the International Association of Machinists, and so now any Teamsters local in the country has the authority and blessing from the International of the Teamsters to raid any machinist union shop all over the country. That's like, they don't even have to ask permission. They do still have to notify DC, but they don't even have to ask permission. That's insane. And especially as, you know, we're still in the middle of the campaign to organize Delta, in which the Machinist Union, the AFA, and the Teamsters had organized basically a united front to, you know, so the AFA are going to organize the flight attendants. I think the Teamsters were going to organize the ramp workers, and the machinists were going to organize something else. You know, they divided up the turf, basically, and they're all supporting each other on one campaign. And so what is this going to do to the campaign to organize Delta? Is the campaign to organize Delta going to be destroyed again? Because this is not the first time that this has happened. The other times between the machinists and the AFA. And then also the BLET and SMART. I mean, there's just so much nonsense happening with the Teamsters, and that's just internal to union. You know, I mean, we're not even talking about what Sean O'Brien is doing with Donald Trump, right? I mean, and that's another thing, but just internal within the House of Labor, it's just absurd. But all that to say, I share your trepidation, and it is warranted. But the Amazon Labor Union's Democratic Reform Caucus has said that they endorse the affiliation.
Interesting.
So, and they would be the people, they would be the people that would be hurt. They said, ultimately, the agreement as presented captures our vision. Because the agreement does, even though the Teamsters announced it as if it was a done deal, the actual contract that Amazon Labor Union went into with the Teamsters does not make it official until the workers vote. Right, so the workers have to vote on it, and it's not official until that happens. In their statement, the Reform Caucus said it will allow us to turn the beachhead we've secured in Staten Island into a militant, autonomous local that can serve as the model for future Amazon organizing efforts going forward. We believe that a robust national campaign is necessary if there's any hope of winning a strong contract at Amazon. With the institutional backing of the International Union and more than 1.3 million Teamsters standing by our side, this goal is possible. So, you know, I mean, not even really the Reform Caucus, I mean, not even really kind of mincing words or hedging on. I mean, it's a pretty full-throated endorsement, even with they do criticize coming out in public with this as if it's a done deal. But, I mean, a full-throated endorsement from the Reform Caucus, is so anyway, that's the things as it stands within ALU. It seems like both the current leadership, the incumbent leadership, and there's been a lot of problems with Chris Smalls, and the Reform Caucus are in favor of this. So, I mean, I guess it seems like probably the right decision, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Am I still, can you hear me?
Yeah, you are, yeah.
Sorry, he went off on a rant there. You got him stirred up.
Got me stirred up. It's frustrating. It's crazy. I'm sorry. I'm not going to get started again. Go ahead, Reese.
Yes. So what I was going to say is, like, this feels like the sort of thing that the Teamsters have been doing forever. And it feels like just now, after we got TDU leadership, they're sliding right back into it. And, like, if I was an ALU member, like, I don't think I would want to join the Teamsters. I'd much rather join, like, the UAW or UE or some other union that actually is democratic and doesn't have a history of being literally the mob. So, I don't know. I just, like, the whole thing just seems suspicious, and I don't even know if I was an ALU member, I would want to join the Teamsters.
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
Yeah, no, I understand.
That's basically
I understand it's totally understandable, but that's just just relaying the facts on the ground as they are, particularly with reference to the Democratic Reform Caucus. So, I think as somebody outside of Amazon, when both of these sides are kind of in agreement on affiliation with the Teamsters, my instinct is to defer to those organizations. And I mean, I do think that they need to affiliate with somebody. That is very strongly, I feel like the ALU needs to affiliate with somebody, whether it be the Teamsters or not, but they do need to affiliate with somebody. They're not going to be able to do this as an independent union. And, I mean, obviously, I've said it on the show multiple times. I think the UAW's Sean is the superior one, but they got the best of the Seans, I think. But, I imagine probably if I was in the UAW's leadership, would I be interested in an ALU affiliation? That's outside of kind of the sectors of expertise for the UAW. They have this huge campaign to organize the non-union auto sector. Would the UAW even be interested in an ALU affiliation? My instinct is no. Actually, that they wouldn't be. And then the UE is a good union. It's a good national union, but it's not nearly as large, does not have nearly the resources that the Teamsters do. So then who does that leave you with? It's the Teamsters are really in this industry to a certain extent, the game in town, right?
Yeah, I sort of challenge your point that it's outside of the UAW's expertise. Like, it's factory floor workers, for the most part. And that is what the UAW is good at organizing, historically.
Well, and something else to point out, though, is UAW has quite a few grad student workers, right? UAW has shown a flexibility in being willing to organize, outside of the traditional auto and auto plant, setting. But yeah, to your point, Jacob, I understand why they may not be as interested as perhaps some workers would be interested in affiliating with them. But yeah, Reese, I appreciate your call, and I think it's something we're going to have to keep our eye on. It'll be interesting to see how it shakes out because, like you were saying, Jacob, there's just been a lot of internal drama circulating around the Teamsters that it's concerning for me, I think, whenever I see, we don't have much of a coherent labor movement in this country, frankly, and to see even more division is not helpful. I don't know what all's behind all that, but it doesn't seem very helpful for where we're at, considering 90% of American workers do not have a union.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, if you're a Teamster, I don't know if I'd be interested in rating machinist when literally 90% of the workers around you need a union, don't have a union. Right, I don't think I would be targeting the handful of folks who do happen to have one just because of some stuff like this. So,
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation.
Appreciate your call,
Sorry about that, Reese. But yeah, really appreciate your call.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.
Another comment from an Amazon worker in the YouTube chat. While I respect the caller's point of view, I'm an Amazon worker in Northern Kentucky where our campaign voted to affiliate with the Teamsters over 2 months ago. We obviously, I can't speak for everyone here, but the vast majority of our campaign voted because of our dissatisfaction with the ALU. And as far as mobbed up, a bunch of unions were mobbed up back in the day, and the Teamsters United existing tells me that they're not going to go back to the old way. And then this is me talking at least as much. I think that there are probably some autocratic tendencies, but I don't think that we're going to be seeing Hoffa level autocracy in the Teamsters. Lord willing. So
yeah, there's pros and cons to all of this, and I think it's a really tough decision. But I think I agree with you in general, though, that some affiliation is probably the best path forward. I think, it's inspiring what they were able to do in New York, but there's a reason they don't have a contract yet, and there's a reason it hasn't really spread as much as it should have, because it is so daunting to take this on with basically nothing, right? Just like a shoestring budget, that's just really, really daunting.
Right, because they have to have like lawyers and
Right. I mean, you think about all the just like support that you really need to take on a company like Amazon. So I think a union on the level or at the scale of the Teamsters is probably appropriate. But I get, there's going to be some bumps in the road probably. And yeah, I appreciate what Brandon was saying, in terms of like mobbed up stuff. Like, we can have those conversations about a lot of unions. A lot of institutions in this country have been corrupted over time, right?
Every institution, basically.
Right. Yeah, institutions are made of humans, and they're as flawed as the humans that are in them and lead them. So they're not perfect, but, I do think... even with some of that history, right, labor unions are unique, right? Labor unions are uniquely working class democratic institutions that, at least on paper, belong to the membership. And hell, we don't have much else like that in our society. So that's important.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project. And you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.